They are just spiritual. They are the greatest things in the air.
They're mystical. People are awed by them when they see them soaring overhead.
It's something that's free, it's wild, it's powerful.
The Morley Nelson Snake River Birds of Prey National Conservation Area lies in this place between incredible biological resources and also an amazing amount of use. And we have the largest and densest population of nesting raptors in North America. And at the same time, it's an area that the public can enjoy.
I think he was a falconer from age 17 to 84. He'd pick up a falcon or an eagle and he'd go, "Oh, big boy. Oh, big boy.
I envy you," he would say to them.
Oh, you're proud today, huh?"
He never had a bad day of flying birds.
He came out to Dedication Point. I went down there and a prairie falcon came off the cliff right there. And then he saw golden eagles and prairie falcons all day long. So he thought the canyon was heaven. We spent a lot of time as kids out here.
Morley Nelson grew up in North Dakota on a farm. He started to notice raptors and their behavior and became fascinated and actually became a self-taught falconer. And in the late 1940s, he had an opportunity to come to Boise to work for the snow survey.
He just had this thing about he had to go look for eagle nests because he had a permit with the Fish and Wildlife Service to actually possess these birds for educational and filming purposes.
He started exploring the area and ended up on the Snake River Canyon and noticed that there was a higher concentration of raptors than he had seen anywhere in his life. And so he spent the next several decades working with the BLM and other interested people to really raise the awareness of this area and also to protect it.
Morley just had this magical way of communicating with people about birds of prey. He'd had this infectious enthusiasm for the area, and he spread that word to everyone.
Our dad gave us cameras because he wanted us to film his falcons striking game. So that's how we started. I mean, we started with Bolex cameras and 100-foot rolls.
But Morley taught himself how to be a filmmaker. And he said, the greatest thing I can do to enhance the understanding and beauty is to show people these birds. He was using film to change the minds of everybody in the world that these birds are not bad animals. They're magnificent.
In the early days, the eagle and the red-tail was vermin. They were all chicken hawks. So it was perfectly acceptable to shoot any of them. And his whole purpose was to get people to appreciate birds of prey through their beauty and majesty and therefore end that accepted practice.
In the 1960s, he started working with the BLM to get some sort of protection for the area. And in 1971, the area was designated as the Snake River Birds of Prey Natural Area, which was really a first for the BLM.
This is the only area in the entire world that scientific study determined the boundaries of the area being protected. The lines were not drawn by any of the political managers. It was the scientists who drew the lines.
Now let's go up here and take a look at the world from the prairie falcon's point of view. I was hired in 1972 by the BLM as the first biologist for what was then the Snake River Birds of Prey Natural Area. And my first assignment was assess the raptor population and to assess the habitat and spatial requirements of the major raptor species. Originally, we thought that they were only going to go maybe 5 miles from the canyon. We found out that these birds were ranging 30 kilometers, which is 18 miles. We found out the prairie falcon was using the largest space. We used that spatial data to determine how far back from the canyon should the boundaries be established.
We pulled together all the research from 1975 to 1979 in a report to the Secretary of Interior that identified the spatial needs of the raptors. This is the only conservation area whose boundaries were defined based on scientific information about movements of the animals and what they required to make a living.
Cheryl?
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Great, how are you?
Good. Really? Oh my gosh. So, here is where we keep your entire collection.
4 years. I'm looking at HR 236. This is the bill that was introduced in May 1993. This is the Snake River Birds of Prey National Conservation Area. This protected 482,000 acres of the best habitat for birds of prey in North America and probably the world. I was the champion of HR 236. I was the sponsor of the legislation and made sure that we got this through after 3 years of hard work. The table had been set for many years here in Idaho with the talk of how spectacular the birds of prey area was. And then Cecil Andrus took the action back in 1980 when he was Secretary of the Interior to withdraw the area under an executive order. So that protected the area for about 20 years, but the clock was ticking, and when I got to Congress, I was elected in 1990 and we didn't pass this until 1993, but I didn't stop working on it for a minute while I was there. The fact that it was renamed the Morley Nelson Snake River Birds of Prey National Conservation Area gives recognition to a citizen who started the process. I was the guy at the end of it that took it up, but it was Morley Nelson and Cecil Andrus and all the scientists and all of the users there that sort of set the table for this. I think it represents smart, bipartisan, coming together community that wanted the best for our kids and the best for the natural resources, the best for our environment, and the best for the birds. It all comes together right here in this canyon.
Dad went over the cliff on a rope to take a prairie falcon out of the eyrie, but the hole was too small, so he had to climb back up to the top, and so he made me go down. I remember backing off the cliff like this with the rope, and I looked down and I was absolutely petrified. And then Dad says, "Don't look down, look at the cliff in front of you." So I started looking at the cliff right there, backing down till I got to the hole. I crawled in and grabbed one bird, pulled him out, put him in the pack, and then they had to pull me up.
I've never seen anybody more dedicated to anything than my father was to the birds of prey.
He definitely reached out to a lot of people and they were more than willing to help him.
His legacy, number one, is this canyon.
This special place belongs to all of us. The more people that can enjoy it, the better.
This is a treasure of a resource that is open for everyone. I think people need to take more opportunities to get out in nature and interact with wildlife. You can't love something that you never come in contact with. One of the ways that we are going to save species, we're going to save wild spaces, is by loving them.